Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you are going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received. The translation of that message, it reads like this. Hello, my brother, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? I am a man. I graduated as a teacher and I started working in my own home country, but life proved to be very difficult for me. It was difficult in terms of the salary that I was earning, and as well as at home, the woman that I got married to, she was not a supportive woman. She then decided to break my heart. After that said heartbreak, I then decided to move to South Africa to join up with this other friend of mine. What exactly happened between me and my wife is that we had been keeping some money, and when I was keeping that money, thinking that my wife, she was the one who was going to take care of this money so that we can do something better with our lives, but my wife, she was actually having and making other plans with her own relatives. So I then decided that I should not be married to my wife anymore. When I moved to South Africa, my brother, I then found out that I could not get any job at all, and the desired job that I wanted, it was out of reach for me. I then started working as a low-level worker, and I was getting paid peanuts because this was a low-paying job and I could not find a proper job. I actually found a job, and when I found that job in the same teaching profession, I was supposed to be working for this other private school, but at that private school, I then found out that they wanted to pay me peanuts as well since I was from Zim without any documentation. I then decided that it was far much better to return back home so that I can suffer in my own country. When I returned back home, I then spoke with one of my friends who was now staying in Mozambique, and he told me that many teachers were actually finding it very easy to find a job there in Mozambique. He suggested that I should come there in Mozambique, and when I traveled to Mozambique, within a short period of time, I was now a teacher and I was earning a salary that was enough for me and my brother. When I was now working, I then thought of a plan. All that I wanted to do was to seek revenge. You remember that woman that I was once married to, the one whom I had been giving my heart and money. Then she was just transferring that money to her relatives, and after that she then broke up with me. I then decided that enough was enough. I wanted to teach her a lesson that you cannot waste someone's time as well as someone's money, and after that you just decided that you do not love that person anymore. I was then taken to this other traditional healer, but he was quite a very old man, and when I went there, I then told that man that I wanted to make sure that my wife, whenever she will be in a relationship, she will start going on her periods so that she would never be able to enjoy love or to enjoy marriage because of the things that I had done. This was like my own form of a revenge that I wanted. And as I was speaking with that man, that was when I asked him about the issue of, like, if you want to get rich, is it even possible? He only laughed and he said, so you want to be rich? I said yes. He said that he can offer me some riches, but the only way that he can offer me the riches is if I was going to make sure that I would regularly dedicate some blood for his shrine, because he said that the things that he uses, the spirits that he uses so as to make someone go rich, they will always require blood from his clients' relatives. I said, okay, that is fine. That was when I was given a small clay pot. This clay pot, I was told that it was supposed to be full of blood at all the times. This traditional healer told me everything that he wanted me to do. He said that return back home, and when you return back home, pull down your trousers and please yourself. But first, I had to write a name on a piece of paper, the name of the person that was going to become my first victim, and place it inside that small clay pot that was supposed to be full of blood at all the times, and this blood was supposed to be that of my relatives. When I returned back home, I did everything that the traditional healer had asked me to do, pulled down my pants, and I started pleasing myself, pointing at that clay pot with that piece of paper that had my sister's name written on it. And after I had ejaculated, then I went to bed. But my brother, I found myself to be in a vision, and when I was in a vision, I saw that I was no longer in that house that I was staying, but I found myself to be in South Africa, and I was and at the place where I was at, it was the place where my cousin's sister was staying on this other particular farm where she was staying with her husband. And I actually saw that my sister, she was in a shed on that farm, and what they were doing is that they had some wooden crates that were filled with some potatoes in them, and what they were doing is that they were taking the potatoes so that they can make some seeds to plant again those potatoes. Whilst I was looking at my sister, she then spoke with her, and I told her to follow me. So she then started following me until we had entered into the bushes, and I told her that I wanted to sleep with her, and I grabbed her so as to sleep with her by force. And this she didn't like. She said that if I was going to do this, what if she was going to fall pregnant? If it was going to happen that I sleep with her and fall pregnant, she had no choice but to inform her own husband so that her husband won't divorce her, saying that she cheated on him. My brother, all of these things, it was like they were happening in reality. When I had finished sleeping with my cousin's sister by force, I then thought of everything that she had said, that she was going to tell her husband that I had forcefully slept with her. And this was just too much for me. I didn't want to be humiliated. So in that vision, Brother Nashi, I then found myself picking up a rock. And when I picked up this rock, I felt that I had so much demonic power inside that hand that I had used to pick up that stone, and I threw that stone in the direction where my sister was at, and immediately when that rock hit her skull, she fell to the ground and she passed away. I then ran to the place where my sister had fallen, and when I reached that place where she had fallen, I then found out that there was this very old demonic creature that was actually laughing at what I had done. And this demonic creature was holding that clay pot that I was told that it is supposed to be filled with blood at all the times. And this creature, it was like making sure that the blood will fall straight into that clay pot. The way that I had hit her with that rock, and the way that this rock had crushed her skull, it was like there was someone who had opened up a tap of water. The blood was just gushing out of her wound. And this creature was liking the way that the blood was rushing out of her wound. From there on, I then found myself waking up, and that is how I became a ritualist. The other thing that I was told was that I am not supposed to sleep with a woman without using any protection. And this tokoloshi that was given to me, it is in form of a very old woman. So this old woman, the other rules that I am supposed to follow is that I have to regularly sleep with some of my relatives, my sisters, my cousin sisters, but this I do in spirit. So whenever this creature wants to take me to where my cousin sister will be staying, the one that I would have to make love to in the spirit on that night, this creature, even though it is like very short, the height, my brother, it can only reach up to my knees. But on that night, when I am supposed to perform this ritual of sleeping with my cousin sister, it can actually carry me on its back. Then we can start to fly from one country going to another country. And when I would arrive at the place where my cousin sister will be staying, then I will call out her name, and she will come and she will make sure that me and her, we can start sleeping together. But what happens is that the moment that I'll be sleeping in the spirit with my cousin sister, I will then see that she will act as if she is demonic possessed, and then that tokolo, she will start to possess her body. what I have noticed is that here in Mozambique, there are a lot of women that had children with white men that are Portuguese speaking, those that are white, and most of these women, they have given birth to colored women. So this creature, my brother, after possessing the body of my cousin's sister, I can see that the face will change, and then the face will become a human face. And so this has made me to think that this tokology that was given to me, I think that in its former life, it was once a beautiful woman who was sacrificed by that traditional healer. I have never asked him about it, but this is the image that I see in the vision. When I will be on top of my cousin's sister, I will no longer see my cousin's sister, but I will see a very beautiful colored women, like most of the women that I have come across here in Mozambique, who have their mothers sleeping with men, and after those men would have slept with them, then they will give birth to a colored woman. That is the image that I see, Brother Nashi. This thing, it has been happening for a very long time, ever since I started being this ritualist, and I have to follow these rules no matter what. Dear listeners, right there was a narration of a message that was sent to me by one of our dear brothers.